Yeah, now stand and cheer for your Basketball Weekly.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Basketball Weekly, Talking Basketball Podcast. Paul's been pressing all sorts of buttons here. He likes pressing his buttons, you know that. Anyway, we haven't done one of these for a little while. And the main reason for that is because I've been sulking, quite frankly. It's just,
You're a
just get out of the way.
disgrace.
I'm not talking about it.
You're a disgrace.
I literally, what do I have to say? It's nothing to say.
Our listeners had got all the way through
Yeah, but
game 1 and 2 of the finals.
yeah.
And then in the 5-day gap that we had, Boston Celtics won it. And you went, yeah, we're done. We don't need to talk about it now. You're a disgrace.
Do you know why? I'm gonna say why. Exactly why. Because they lost game 3. And it disgusted me that they lost game 3. Because game 4, like, you know, we'll take it back. So game 3, that was the first game that the Mavericks had at home. Celtics won the first 2 games in the Garden. Most people would say that's what they're meant to do. Yeah? Which, you know, you've got home court advantage and you won both games. Makes sense. Third game, this is Dallas's home court advantage. Dallas should have nailed it. They didn't. They lost that game. And you go, it's over. It's like, and the way that they lost as well.
Has anyone come? No one's come back from 3-0.
No one's come back from 3-0. And it was just, I sulked. I properly sulked because I just thought they played terribly. Game 4, Dallas were like, oh, where was this team yesterday? Where was this the last game? And they, you know, they have a pretty significant gap between each of the games as well. It's not just like day. And yeah, that team just didn't arrive. So game 3, 99 to 106. And I'll be honest, that sounds like it was a lot closer than it was.
Well, Luka didn't turn up. Defensively, did not turn up.
No.
He is not overly great defensively.
No, he's terrible. Do you know what's annoying about Luka with his defense, especially when you see those games, is when you look at it, you think offensively, his mind is fantastic and he can see where people are moving and he has such court awareness that, you know, we've seen all those cool passes he does, etc. But his awareness is great, which means it should translate to defense. But he's just
Defense.
He's just a bit lazy on defense.
Yeah, he is. And again, that's what I said to you last time, like 4 weeks ago. He reminds me of Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah, Melo's a perfect example because he's a shooter as well. Really? Yeah, because Carmelo was like, what? Probably the same size.
James Harden. It's a similar thing.
Yeah. They just...
You know where they just kind of just stop playing defense?
But Luka used to play defense. And when Luka does...
Defense!
But when he plays defense, he's not bad. And he can shut people down because he's got the mind for it. He doesn't have the physique for it. I think this off-season, he needs to be conditioning. Like, serious conditioning. Because look, he's a new dad. We've both been new dads. You put a bit of weight on, it just happens. Because everyone's like, oh, I can't be bothered. Oh, we'll just get some easy food.
Well, it's the sleep, isn't it? You don't get sleep.
You don't get the sleep.
Just have
and then
that chocolate bar.
Exactly.
Which
and
turns into 7.
Exactly. Then, like, when they're like, oh, coming up for their year, it's going to be their year birthday soon. We'll get some photos. And you're like, I'm not being in a photo. This is not happening. And that's when you're like, yeah.
Just put a shirt on, darling. And you go, look, it's ripping.
You
the
washed
button.
it. Something's gone wrong. It's like, I haven't touched that. That's a new shirt. It's like, damn it.
Well, look, you got the one huge positive thing you got to talk about the finals was Paul George. He was doing some commentating, so he made his first finals appearance. Great achievement by him.
Oh,
that was a bit mean, wasn't it? That was a bit mean.
Well played. Well played. Well played. You get one of them.
Got to turn up. I'll take that applause. Thank you. Thank you.
I like that. Yeah, that's the closest he'll get there for a while.
But also, look, I'm going to turn this right up. The Boston Celtics have got their 18th banner. Look at his face. He is so angry with that.
I don't. There's two things I don't like about that.
Mark,
That they beat the Mavericks.
put your professional journalist head on and go, congratulations, Boston Celtics.
I will congratulate Boston Celtics. I think they did do a great job. That they were you said it when we did the BBL, the most dominant team won. They dominated the league. I think it was 63 wins.
Well,
with
yeah,
the Celtics.
they played. I think they were the right team at the right time. I don't look at them and go, they're a dominant team. They were okay.
But the interview we've just done now, which you'll be hearing in couple of weeks, they were making a point about Boston being a team there's lots of good individual players who can do multiple roles. So there's lots of attacking options. So how do you defend that?
Yeah, and also Jason Tatum, he has already got more playoff points than Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, Kevin Garnett, Paul George, Allen Iverson, Jimmy Butler, Paul Gasol.
A lot of people give him...
And how old is he? You said he's like...
26?
20, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, that's the bit that annoys me a little, is that people sort of... Because he's not super over the top or everything like that, a lot of people might say he's bland or that his basketball's boring, but you go... He does what he needs to do. He's a team player, and since he came in the league, other than 1 year, I think they've been to the finals in the playoffs, and you go like, you got to give him credit for that. He took that team that there was no one else on the team at the time, other than Jalen the year after so they've both been drafted and they've both come up together. Like, this team hasn't overnight just become a super team. They've been playing together for like 6 seasons. Developing. So, he's just, they've won the championship now. Both of those guys have now got the super contracts.
What do you think of the trophy, by the way? The new trophy?
No.
You prefer the square bottom rather than the round bottom?
Yeah, I don't.
I think it looks better as if I'm going to lift up a trophy. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's like a football trophy, isn't it? Like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's deliberately been designed. And also there was something on the bottom. I couldn't...
Definitely of the finals, which is where all the confetti going off in the background. The guy who took, or whoever it was, that's a great, like, we did it kind of moment. So that, I'm glad that they finally got over their hump. Because I think if they didn't, there'd have been a lot of questions asked about the team. But look, Mavs got to the finals. Let's not take anything away from that. Mavs got to the finals.
And also, I think they, you got
Luka's
to argue...
injured big time. And I don't want anyone to dwell on that, but I will say it. Like, if someone's got a bleeding knee every single game, it's like, what's going on there? They kept coming out of slightly different stories each time. But he's got to get his physique sorted, because there's no, his basketball mind and his shooting, there's no problems there, but he has to get his physique sorted. He's got to put the cake down, put the beers down, like the when he was celebrating the win, and was it the VP of basketball operations came over, shook his hand and just took the beer off him.
I 100% back him up on that. It's like,
the only thing I'll say on that was that he was having a beer with his dad, and his dad, and they just won the Western Conference championship. So it was like, you guys are the Western Conference winners. You'd have let the guy have one beer, but we don't know how many he'd had, or if he's on a very strict diet or something. We don't know. It was just a shame that the guy did that in front of the media, because you go, it's not a good look. That makes people think, oh, has he got a drinking problem or something or whatever.
Nah, that was just, come on, be professional. Like, when you win it, But anyway.
He's having a beer with his dad and he's just won.
What I would say, in the defense of Dallas, they had a bit more of a brutal road to the final.
Yeah, they did.
So, you got to...
Clippers, the nemesis to start with.
Yeah. Well, Clippers then went to OKC, who were top of the table. And then they had Minnesota
in the West Conference Finals. Yeah.
And then if you look on the other side, Boston, Miami 4-1, Boston, Cleveland 4-1. Boston swept the Pacers.
Yeah.
So when you look at it like that, you're like, and then they have a nice big rest, and that would be my argument for Dallas. Is it just they had a hard road to get there.
Oh, 100%. And those 4-1s, like 4-1 against Cleveland, they should never have been 4-1 in Cleveland. They should have swept them.
And there was a lot of injuries
and
opposing teams as they were coming. So I think what I would say is I think Boston were the right team, right time. Everything there went their way, and they just kind of walked it.
I'll agree with that, but I would say, do you know what? Because Dallas lost that game 3, that was the championship over. If they'd have won game 3 and then won game 4, even if they went to a 7-game at that point, I would have just liked to have seen that a bit more, because these playoffs have been good. They were really good. You had a lot of, like, the New York fights, basically, of those games. And it's New York. They've sucked for like decades and decades. And they just...
Pacers were quite physical as well.
Pacers have been really physical. And then, Minnesota, we haven't seen them in the playoffs really doing anything since Garnett days.
Yeah, Edwards' attitude, I love it.
Oh, he's fantastic.
I love it. You know what he's talking about?
The right level of confidence.
The US team as well. He's like, look, the old guy's got to play around me.
Oh,
That's what he's saying. He's like, this is my team.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I say the NBA Finals best tweet? Oh, you say tweet nowadays, or do we say X? I'm going to X it out. Tweet sounds good. I've just tweeted
on X.
I've just done a tweet.
Surely Twitter's got to come back as a name.
I'm going to go and put an X out there. I don't sound as good. Ooh, anyway,
no
Jaylen Brown. Do you know what he put on Twitter? Or X? I'm calling it Twitter. Twitter X. Do you know what he put on it?
What?
My teacher said she will look me up in Cobb County Jail in 5 years. Wow. Look where I am now. So when he was at school, his teacher went, you're going to end up in jail. How wrong was that teacher?
Well,
he is actually arguably one of the most intelligent people, as a player, people in the NBA. Has he got a PhD?
I think he has, and he teaches robotics.
He is
a robotics class at MIT.
Extremely intelligent. Yeah. And he's a multi-millionaire sports personality. How wrong was that teacher?
Yeah, I mean, they got that one wrong, didn't they? I think it's weird, though, isn't it? Because all of those... You think of Jaylen Brown, everyone this season was like, his agent needs an award. How did he sign him? I think it was $302 million or whatever it was. Like, why are they paying him that much? Then he gets MVP in the finals.
Done.
And they go, oh, okay, maybe that's the reason, because he is the engine in that.
We even questioned it. When that max deal, we were like, what? Why?
And it was because it was the beginning of that season. So it's the team showing the confidence in their players, saying, we know these guys are going to be great. And then Tatum's now just signed a contract, and his contract is 5 years, $314 million. And the final year of his contract, he gets over $70 million. Yeah, so he's the first player in NBA history to ever make $70 million just as a salary, as a contract.
Yeah,
to player. He's the first. He would be the first one in history.
Don't forget,
$70 million.
That the TV rights have just gone up again as well. So the Celtics are probably considering that 10% increase and just giving it to him.
Yeah, of course they are. And those rights are going up 10% each year, aren't they? So
is it 3 years, 4 years?
3-4 years, yeah. That the actual deals go out for. I mean, it was 11.1 billion TV deal, I think it is in the end. It's like 2.3, 2.3, 1.9, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I've got another bit of info for you.
Yeah.
About Jason Tatum.
Yes.
I don't know if this is true, but this sounds like a great story. Obviously, Kobe Bryant passed away, and Jason Tatum still got his phone number in his phone, and he messages Kobe Bryant's old number, and it's purely just mental, stimulating him for games or whatever it is. But anyway, the rumor is that he messaged Kobe Bryant's mobile and just went, I got you today.
Oh, nice.
For game 5. Tweeted Kobe Bryant. Not tweeted, well, because I'm saying tweeted. Messaged Kobe Bryant on his phone. That was quite a nice story, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think Kyrie Irving said something about, I've actually got it here.
See, do you know what? That is one of my, I want to say the saddest things, I think, the way Derek Lively played this season for his mum passing, the way that Kyrie this season has played, and he's just become the guy he was in Cleveland, and it's like he's having fun on the court. That I want to say the sad bit was that you go, I don't know how many runs Kyrie's got another season in him. Yeah, he has. He's 32. I mean, he's not super old, but how many seasons does he want to do this?
Yeah,
be on the road. He's got a young family. Like, how many seasons do you want to do that?
Well, I've got a quote from Kyrie Irving here. And again, it's on the topic of Kobe Bryant. And this was what he said, like how far away were the finals? 3-4 weeks ago. He basically said this when they're taking on Boston. He said, I don't know if anyone has ever lost a mentor. Even if you guys didn't talk every day, there was still that connection that they were going to always be there for you. I miss him every single day. He's thinking that in the finals.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he is people say the word GOAT, don't they? Every generation has their own GOAT. People who are watching in the 60s have like Wilt, people like that. Then you've got all of the greats in sort of Lakers Showtime. Magic for me is, you talking about tweets, gave one of the best tweets, by the way. And he put, I'm so upset that I am...
it's nice, doesn't it? I'm just showing Mark a picture of the court.
Oh, the court with the trophy
for the finals, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Magic Johnson wrote, I'm so upset that the Celtics have more trophies than us now. Because of being the Lakers.
Well, you're forgetting the in-season tournament banner.
Well, that's part of the reason it's funny, because he's like, I'm not recognising that, but at the same time, he's like, they've got more championships than us. And he just put, I hate that the Celtics have more championships than us.
They've got a lot more championships than them, Mark.
Yeah, I know, but
look, take those 5.
Take everything from
Minnesota. There's 5 from Minnesota. The
Minneapolis Lakers.
Say that again.
Minneapolis.
Why can't I say that?
Minneapolis. What? Minneapolis. Minneapolis.
Why can't I say that?
Minneapolis Lakers.
Minneapolis. Minneapolis. The same thing. We're literally saying the same thing.
You just did then.
Do you know that episode in Friends where he's trying to speak French, bonjour, and he's like, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's what that just felt like. Look,
land of 10,000 lakes.
In support of the Mavs, because you keep going there, I will say, won 50 games this year after missing the playoffs, took down the Clippers, took down the Thunder, took down Anthony-led Wolves. That's Luka and Kyrie's first full season together. Could only be the beginning for Dallas. I'm just going to leave it there. But going back to what I was going to say,
they've got 2 seasons.
You cannot count those 5 championships from Minneapolis.
No, you can't. Of course you can't.
So when they say, yeah, we got 17, no, you haven't.
But at the same time,
give them back to the city.
But at the same time, I still argue you've got to take all of the trophies from literally 1979-98 season.
No.
Anything before that.
No.
Because of the 3-point line.
No. I'm not having it. Not having it.
It's a completely different game. You've got a way of scoring where you get extra points. The first year that came out, Larry Bird was, what if Larry Bird's, because they did a thing where they said, if Larry Bird's points, if the 3-point line wasn't
he wasn't an amazing 3-point shooter.
Larry?
He could hit a 3. You go and look how many 3-pointers he actually hit.
Oh, in game, yeah, not loads. But they did a thing with whoever it was, and they said if the 3-point line was there, he would have got crazy points during the night because his shots where he was taking them was so far out of the key. So that's the thing. You're just altering history there.
I love this. Clutch Points on social media posted, the Los Angeles Lakers raised the NBA Cup banner in December. And then they wrote ... And the Boston Celtics took it personally. Banner number 18.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, It's,
Hey, Mark, look.
you used to support Boston.
Someone posted this on social media. It's a guy. They reckon he's a time traveler. Look at his cap. What does it say?
Champions 2026 Mavs.
Mavs 26. He's got that cap. He must be a time traveler for that to happen.
I mean, wow, he could be. I don't know. I think, are they going to win it? I mean, they also posted that on social media as well, but you know.
But I have got to bring this up because this, you go back in time. What are you doing that noise for?
I'm just waiting for it. Come on.
No, you're going to love this.
Oh, am I?
We're talking about the Lakers, but I'm also going to throw in with the Lakers, Philadelphia 76ers. 2016 NBA draft.
Yeah.
Number 1, Philadelphia 76ers pick, Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Number 2, Los Angeles Lakers, Ingram.
Yep.
Number 3 pick, Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown.
That's right.
Philly and Lakers could have picked Jaylen Brown. 2017 NBA draft.
Yep.
Number 1, Fultz.
Markel.
Lakers. Number 2, Lonzo Ball. 3, Celtics.
Tatum. Yeah. They did 1, 2, 3 both back-to-back years, didn't they? It's quite a weird thing.
That should haunt the 76ers and Lakers fans for years to come.
Not as much as the guy who passed on Jordan. I think that's still number 1. I think
there's 3 guys who passed on Jordan.
Yeah.
I think it was, I could be wrong, but I think it was Houston, Portland.
And Kobe wasn't number 1 either, was he? We're going to do a show on this. We're going to do a show on people who drafted higher than they actually ended up being.
Yeah.
And there's people who go the other way around. I've got a really good stat I'll show you.
I think we should do a NBA draft show.
Because there's people who, people like Joker, who they were down in like 21st and 2nd, whatever, and you go, oh, is that it? He's picked 40th or whatever.
Yeah, he was.
He was way down there.
Kobe was like, 14th, 17th.
Yeah, exactly. All these players.
Dennis Rodman, he was quite low as well. But again, look, hindsight.
But there's all these other players who've been picked really, really high up, and they're like, they're going to be the next thing. And not even, they just turned out to be okay. They fall off a cliff. And after like those 2 or 3 years, it's like, you were good in college, but you don't manage the step up.
Fultz was a great example because he couldn't shoot, could he? And remember, he was always at the free throw line.
Yeah.
He was doing that weird, was it like a stutter almost?
It was like a psychosomatic thing, a bit like a...
He was doing all right on Orlando, but hey, look, I got another great stat for you. We've got to give it to James Harden, Mark. James Harden. He's now had the most playoff games without a title. So congratulations. He's got 166 games.
That's harsh.
No ring. What? Just look, I'm letting everyone know he's got a good stat.
Is it a good stat?
He's in the books.
I mean, there's good stats and there's good stats. I don't think that's a stat he'd want. I mean, you can have those sort of stats. Those are quite good stats.
She's got lovely stats.
Not quite like that.
You know,
I'm saying,
who I really liked in these playoffs?
Who? The ref.
Drew Holiday. I love his story. Traded to the Bucks in 2021, wins a title, first season.
Yep.
Traded to the Celtics, 2023, wins a title, first season.
Mm-hmm. And he took time off when he was playing. I want to say he was playing, was it Denver or was it New Orleans? I can't remember. It was off my head. But he took some time off because his wife is a footballer. And she was I think she was played for like the America for the World Cup and stuff. So she was a really, really good pro footballer. And she had a health condition and something which caused, I don't know, something, but like, I don't know if it was a stroke or something on her face, but she had some real issues. So he took time off to look after the kids and everything. He was like, I'm an NBA player, but I'm a dad first sort of thing. So he did all that, then left and then went to, as you say, went to the Bucks, won a title. And the Bucks were really annoyed when he got traded. But that was the only way that was going to work in the trade to go to the Celtics. But they were really, really annoyed. And rightly so. Look, they basically gave them the key to the defense because he just locked everyone up.
And arguably, we were talking about MVP candidate.
Oh, I'd say
after the first 2 games.
Yeah, he was their difference to me. He was their difference maker because you got Zingas the Dingus who was doing bits here and there when he came back from being ill.
He did all right. He really looked like he hurt his knee when he. Was it hyperextended it during the game? I mean, look, he's coming back with a bad knee and he's doing that and he carries on running. It's like, that's a winner there.
He's not apparently back till November now at the earliest, maybe even December. They're not sure.
Well, look, mate, I've just looked it up. Here you go. Boston Celtics, 18 championships. The Los Angeles Lakers, you could say it's 12 if you're not counting those Minnesota championships.
They don't
Give
count.
them back to the city that we're just saying.
Well, either they count or they don't. Simple as that. But you're going down that tunnel of, everything before the 3.9, everything with the original city, New Orleans Jazz, it shouldn't be the Utah Jazz, blah, blah, blah. You can go on forever. It should just be where they win it or where they win it. We had a thing earlier we were talking about with the bubble and the Lakers winning the bubble, but, they did win. It was a competition. Everyone was level pegged. Everyone had the same challenges that they won. So
I have also got a great what if moment for you that I found.
What if I was on Dallas and they subbed me in?
Oh, yeah.
Purely for free throws, I'd just get 100% and I'd walk off.
Your free throw would be as good as Bronny James. Fact. 0%. Here's my what if. What if? Yeah? What if Ray Allen misses the shot? Remember that shot? Do you know what the result would be?
That shot.
If he misses the shot, Duncan would have the same finals record as MJ. Dwayne Wade only gets 2 rings. LeBron is 3 for 7. McGrady gets a ring. The Heat big 3 would have been 1 and 3, and Kawhi would have 3 rings. Imagine that.
Wow.
I think we should do a few what if. We should do an episode called What If.
The first thing that hit me there was Duncan time with MJ. We've got to do something on Duncan because he keeps out of the limelight quite a lot. But one of the greatest players in the modern era. You don't get 5 rings by accident. And being mentored by Pop and David Robinson, but what a player. And you'd look at it and think, is he my kind of player? He's slow and steady. It's like he's getting 24, 25 every single night, which now we see with LeBron. If you do that long enough, you get over 40,000 points. LeBron's not doing 10 years of 50 points a game. It's a long haul.
And look, Mark, we got to finish this. Congratulations, Boston Celtics. NBA champions!
Yeah, well done. Good for you.
And also, moving quickly on to catch up with the news, JJ Redick, Los Angeles Lakers coach.
Oh, God.
And I got to highlight this. Someone should be shot for doing this on TV.
Where they were groaning in the background?
No, so he's on hysterical. His TV, standing there, and he's at a game. I think he's commentating. Or he's standing there. He's not coaching. And someone puts up. Do you know where you get that little graphic that says JJ Redick career head coaching history?
Yeah.
At the top, it says Brooklyn Basketball Academy 2023-24 volunteer 4th grade boys head coach. And underneath that, it says Los Angeles Lakers 2024-25 head coach.
Absolutely did him dirty, didn't they?
I know. That is harsh.
It's like they just missed off the bit where it was like 15-year playing career. Because he was, I think it was LeBron said it in his podcast, didn't he? That JJ was like the man. In high school times and college times, JJ Redick was like, he was the one that everyone was like, wow, can't wait for him to get the NBA. And he did all right.
Well, and this is something
he was a utility player, I think it's fair to say. But he's got a great mind, but he's a utility player.
I think he has got a fantastic mind. And you only need to listen to his podcast to appreciate his basketball IQ.
Oh, yeah.
And what I really liked was, look, how are you going to become a head coach of an NBA team? Someone's got to...
There's an answer for that.
Someone's going to... You're going to go to college for 10 years? There will be someone who has got a great basketball IQ that someone's going to take a punt on.
I was just about to say hock tour, but some people might not get the reference.
Everyone knows what hock tour is. Or every man does, I guess.
That's how he got it. That's how he got on the reference.
If you don't know, type in hock tour and you'll find out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was listening to JJ Redick on the First Take show. That's
yeah.
And we've been talking about this before, where you have commentators, media. Look, I'll put us in that category, Mark, where we have
of course
definitely not played at a high level, a competitive level at all, and we're speaking of you.
Yep.
And then where I think we're different, we will get someone on the show and we'll listen to them, and we take their experience and knowledges and regurgitate that to other people.
Yep.
That's what I'd say. Anyway, I love this.
We provide a platform for them to share their story.
Exactly. And if it's funny, positive, even better. But this summed up for me, and this is what we were talking about with we were saying with Dan Routledge. Was that last week or this week? Was that last week? Last week. So when we were saying, I was saying how amazing it is he's got to that point in his career without playing competitive basketball. Remember that?
Yeah.
You watch enough basketball, you know, you're going to become an expert. However,
he became one with the ball.
However, so when JJ Redick was talking to Stephen Smith.
Yeah.
Steve Smith.
Stephen A. Smith, the mouth.
He was talking to First Take, but I love this because he said, and this is, I quote JJ Redick saying, "I mean this in the nicest way possible to both. Listening to each of you right now, it's very obvious that you've played zero high-level basketball and you do not understand the requirements of doing that. And I do mean that in a nice way."
No, but yeah. It's good, isn't it?
I mean...
Just get back in your seat.
Yeah, they can't respond to that, can you? It's like, yeah, good point.
Yeah, I've watched enough. Good for you. But you haven't played it, so
yeah, jog
on. But yeah, he's got... It'll be... It's very interesting. I think... ironically, you know, he's been in the media enough, but when some of the things he said in his first media conference were a little...
I found this as well.
A little bit
really
colourful,
weird you said that.
Yeah.
Draft fit. I've taken a picture of that to bring that up. He was 40. Jokic was 41st. In the
yeah. I know he's down somewhere in the 40s. It was ridiculous. But yeah, just the way he dropped the F-bomb in the old... he said, "I don't give an F about what people think about this and that." And you go...
No, that's fake.
Huh?
That's fake.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. That's fake. You're talking about JJ Redick in the interview? There's no way he's saying that. That is so fake. I don't think it's real. That
was what was televised.
The thing is, the AI software that's changing, you know what, is changing people's mouths and listens to their tone of their voice. It can just change it to the point where I think the classic one is in politics. Just before an election comes up, you see them talking, saying,
"I did not have relations with that woman."
Well, no, he did say that though. But you know what I mean by that? They'll be saying, "Yes, I'm going to blow up the planet if I'm elected." And people are, I'm not voting for him then. But that is all. I agree with what you said. I saw that and went, wow, he is just...
Do you think that's an AI clip?
I think that's fake. Yeah. I'm fairly confident it's fake.
Because some of the things in the press were actually saying, like, they were quite surprised how strong the language and the way that he came across, because, and I could see why they were saying.
I think people are seeing the same clip because the first deep fake of it was really bad.
Oh, no,
like his mouth movement was really bad.
There is a fake one.
The second one they did was even better.
I don't know. All I know is I saw one on a main media channel, and they were playing it, and they played other clips from the same thing. The one I liked was the guy groaning in the background, where he said, "I did not speak to LeBron."
Someone goes, "Oh,
yeah, I didn't have a conversation with LeBron about the job until it's like, well, that's the podcast over, isn't it?"
Yeah,
they're not.
The best one I've read is JJ Redick reportedly has a busy drawing up plays for Bronny James immediately after the Lakers drafted him. And there's a picture of a basketball court with an arrow going off the court to the bench.
Well, he's been... I mean, look, we've mentioned it enough, but obviously for those who live under a rock, LeBron managed to wangle the 55th pick for the LA Lakers, and Bronny James got picked out. A guy who, all intents and purposes, stats were nowhere near any of the others who didn't get drafted, which is a real shame. And I think it's a shame for him as much as it is for the other players. You know, the other players, do they deserve it? Of course they do.
I think when LeBron goes out the league, he's going. And you know what I think's embarrassing about this is the power that LeBron has and his agent have. Yeah. I mean, there's rumours that again, this is all speculation, all allegedly, of the agent phoning up other clubs and being like, if you draft him, like, what was he threatening? Oh, he's going to Australia.
Yeah.
If you draft him, he's going to Australia.
Yeah.
So you're wasting your pick. And
because they have a catch to do that, and I thought, well, no, because they've drafted him, but you actually can do that. That's the thing. Just because you were drafted by them, you then see later on that they actually, it's like almost like a Dragon's Den scenario where you get picked, but then you still have to go and sign a contract and everything. So you can actually just not sign the contract. I'd have to look into that and see how many people have not.
If that is what's happening,
well, of course it is.
If I was Bronny James, I'd be looking and going, I'm kind of in this because Daddy's got me here. It's a bit like, thanks, Daddy.
Well, it is. Look,
it's, you know.
At the end of the day, he wants to do something for his dad, and that's what he is doing.
No, he wants to play in the NBA.
Of course he wants. Anyone would want to play in the NBA. And also, if your dad is LeBron, are you ever going to get his stats? No. He's 6'1". When they measured, they said, "Oh, he's 6'4" in his listing." They measured him 6'1". Well, you're not 6'4" then, are you?
Do you know what his stats were?
Oh, they were
in the last game.
They were shocking.
He was on the court for 21 minutes. He scored 4 points. One was a layup. He was not. Mark, you would not like it. He was 22% for free throw point percentage.
How many free throws did he take?
He only took 2, both bricks.
Seriously?
Yeah. He was 0 for 2 for free throws.
Because this is summer league at the moment, isn't it? That they're playing, but they've actually benched him now because he's got a knee injury.
I didn't take a picture of his stats. I'm just recalling that from memory.
How can you have 0? If you got 2 free throws, you've got to get one in.
Oh no! Sorry, he got 4 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. He was 2 for 9 field goals, 0 for 3 free points, and 0 for 2 free throws. His 2 points that wasn't a layup.
Yeah,
was actually a nice move. It's like crossover, step back shot, bam. So that was a nice move.
So they were saying
on the 21 minutes and those stats, it's like, look, come on.
They were saying on the phone, like JJ and head coach were saying about, you've got here because we see you've got the determination and the drive and all those sort of things. And you go, they're all credible things to say because you are buying into an asset and you're bringing someone into an organisation that you've got to train up. Doesn't matter what college player comes in. There's very few players who ever come in the league genuinely and make an impact in their first year. Most of the time, the rookies, they're just like, you've got to learn your craft.
Him in the league is bollocks.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to say it like it is. Look, Jokic, we talked about him. What is he? What did I say? 41?
41.
He was 41 in 2015.
Yeah.
They gave him a 4-year contract, $5.5 million. Yep. That's pick 41.
Yep.
Bronny James, what was he, 55?
Yep.
They've given him a 4-year contract, 7.9 million.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to put that in context of other 55 round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, number 55. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Most recent number 55 picks. Kyle Guy, he got a 2-way contract.
Yep.
Jay Scrubb, 2-way contract. Aaron Wiggins, 2-way contract. Kai Santos, 75 grand guaranteed.
Yep.
Next up, Bronny James, 4.4 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
You look at that and just go, what?
Well, I mean, look, why should we be surprised? They've in Orlando, they pay they call it the Mo tax, because they want to have Franz on the team, and they've got the older brother Mo, so they pay Mo a certain amount of money, and he's a contributing player. He always puts in like 10 points or so he is worth having, but they pay for him. No, you know, we've seen it with Giannis, with Thanasis.
Didn't he just request a trade?
Who, Thanasis?
I think he might have done.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that yet.
I don't know. I think it's possible.
Well,
talking of his brother,
yeah,
Giannis.
Well, I was about to say, before we go into that, because I know where you're going with that, this off-season, they changed the rules, for if people don't know, and they said the second that the last game of the finals has been played, between then and when the draft sorts out, you've got a window, and that was the collective bargaining agreement, the CBA. It was new for this year that teams could approach the people who were coming at the end of their contract and renegotiate it, because basically what they were saying, which I think is a fair point, people were having to wait until the beginning of next season before they could, and you know, all of that's gone. And they're like, so we've basically have 2.5 months over the summer where we're just sitting there going, well, we're going to sign you, you know we're going to sign you, but we can't do anything. It's like, it just seems pointless. So the next day after the finals, bang, off they go. They literally started, and you saw trades, and you saw people going across. You mentioned Paul George. He is now gone to the Sixers. So, like, that was a giant trade.
75 mil?
They paid a lot. They did pay a lot. I'll say that. I mean, but it's the Sixers. They had so many superstars on the same team, and they can't get it together. So I don't know. They've also got in Andre Drummond, I think, as well, which I'm surprised at, but I guess he's going to be a backup for Embiid. And then Klay Thompson, he's now gone to Dallas. So as we were talking about Dallas, I just think it's worth mentioning that trade was a 6-team trade where Dallas got Klay in considerations, then money was paid to someone else got some money, and it was like 6 teams all lined up for that one trade for Klay to go to the Mavs. And I mean, we talked about this off air about Klay. I have not been a giant fan of his personally, because I don't like his demeanor on the court.
What?
Yeah, but you can't argue with his stats. He's
one of the Splash Brothers you're having a go at.
Yeah, he has that arrogance, but I don't like the arrogance. You have to have a level of arrogance if you're this good. I get that. And you can see people like Anthony Edwards, they're sure of themselves, but in a certain way. Klay's not. He's in the more of the smug way, where you just want to slap him in the face.
He's just signed for the Mavs.
I know. So that was a problem for me.
So you're saying you'd like him or you don't? Or is the jersey going to change your mind?
Well, it was a challenge, because
you're going to let me go, yeah, Klay, Luka, Kyrie, they're amazing. That's what you're going to be saying. Give it 6 months.
Look,
give it 3 months.
Any team wanted to snap him up, because when he's on form, amazing. But he was slighted by Golden State because they didn't offer him a re-up on his contract after they won the 2022 title. He felt a bit miffed by that. So then when it came round to it, he's like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to stay with you. And then obviously with all the stuff with Draymond, and they're all getting on, they can't compete in this league the way that
they're getting on. They
can't compete.
He's still got 4 rings.
Well, that's the thing.
I think they're going to retire his jersey as well.
They've agreed to it already. They're retiring his jersey.
Number 12?
13 or 12. Yeah, one of those two. I can't remember off the top of my head. But literally, he you look in the papers, and his dad was everywhere. And his dad, 2-time Lakers champion. His dad came from Portland, a nothing team, went straight to Showtime Lakers in 87, won a ring in 87 and 88. And then so he's got those 2 rings. And then he went off to other teams and, but his dad's a 2-time champion. And it was very, very, I am disappointed in him that he didn't take my advice and go to the Lakers. And you're like, that's because you personally want to see him wear a jersey with Lakers saying Thompson on the back the same way his dad did. You go, I get that. But Clay didn't want to have anything to do with the LeBron circus in the Lakers. That's why he was like, no. And they said, it's all to do with taxes and going to Dallas. You go, no. There's other players in this.
You don't want to be subbed on for Bronny James.
No, and that's the thing. Off. But there's loads of players who had the option. And we just saw another one, and I can't think who it was off the top of my head. And he just, DeMar DeRozan. They were trying to get DeMar DeRozan. No.
The Lakers?
Yeah, I think they were trying to get him. No. And they can't.
I think the drama puts people off a little bit.
But why do you want to do that? Because
we need to stop talking about it. Because when people stop talking about the Lakers, that's when I go, we're not getting any eyes here. That's Phil's words. Is it Phil's words?
Yeah.
Getting the eyeballs.
Yeah.
And check out, when's he coming? Next week?
Yeah,
next week's episode. Then, we'll get rid of all the drama.
Yeah. It's very interesting that the Lakers have taken the approach of this is an entertainment package, and so they've built all of this little world around it, and you go, I can't see you winning anything.
Lakers are...
What are they going to win?
But Lakers have always been those trailblazers. When you look at it, they've always been... When you look at Jerry Bust, they've always been the ones who are on the forefront of trying something.
Yeah.
And so to be the first team to have a father and son duo kind of makes sense to me.
Oh, I mean...
LeBron's going to wait till he has a grandchild. He's going to be the first 3 generations.
Wheel him out.
Right. So, Mark, we're finally closing the NBA 2024 season.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Done. Right, just got to say really quickly, I know this is the next thing you want to get onto, is the Olympics in Paris. When does it start? How would you say Paris?
Paris.
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 Paris. You just put
There's a R. Paris.
Paris. We're literally saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Paris.
I'm not arguing, we're not.
So we just...
it's a R, not a L. Not Pally.
I said Paris. We're literally saying the same thing.
Dans Paris.
Je parle un peu de français.
Oui.
Pablo. Yeah. Shut up. That was all from our French people out there. Only a little bit, though. Only a little bit.
Nice.
Right. So, on their way to Paris is Greece with Giannis. He's knocked out Luka, your boy.
He did.
Luka's not only been eliminated from the NBA finals, he's been eliminated from the Olympics. Look, Mark, he can go home and put some plasters on his knee, and he'll be ready for next season for you all to be like, oh, Luka.
I have a quote, actually. You just mentioned about...
Slovenia are out.
I'm just going to jump on
They're
that.
not out. I was about to say something I shouldn't say then. I was going to say how they lost, but they got killed.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they got absolutely murdered.
They got killed.
People questioned Luka, saying, hang on, you've just played the finals. You've clearly got a bit of it, something physical going on there. Why are you playing in the Olympics? Yeah. And I loved his answer, because they were saying, you've got your loyalties to Dallas and stuff like that. And his response was, Slovenia, we're 2 million people in population. And to represent my country means everything to me. I want to say thanks to Dallas for letting me play. And I always know I'm going to play. So it's a big honor for me to do that.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, but I love that.
What a stupid question.
Yeah, but...
You get asked to play for your country. That comes before every... Like
look, you're getting people on there saying, why is Luka not playing for Team USA? You're like, come on.
Because he's not American.
Well, they've got Embiid doing that, but he he's from Cameroon, but it just,
But
whatever.
look, if someone asks you to play for your country,
response.
that is the greatest honour you can have in your life, probably outside winning an NBA championship ring.
If you got a ring, immediately then it's like, I've got to do something with my country. That's like that is the one, isn't it?
I think if you ask anyone who is a fan, they would say country first.
Well, you mentioned like the French team playing against Germany, and like
got a bit heated.
Getting a bit heated. Well, I mean, look, you got people like Gobert, Wemby,
former Magic, Fournier.
Evan Fournier.
He did a bit of choking on Dennis Schroeder. Things got a bit chippy, which is quite. He actually Schroeder. No, it was just a bit of handbag.
Oh,
yeah.
So, this is the bit where we want to be positive about stuff, and I really hate seeing. I'm getting a bit annoyed with social media these days because everyone always puts the negative spin on it, and they had pictures of all the European players, and they put the not the Euro League or something along those lines. And Olympics is always when these bench warmers suddenly become top tier basketball players. And you see like people like Fournier and stuff, they play superbly for their countries and stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, because they are a different league up from a lot of the other players on their team. There'll be only like one or two who play in the NBA in France. Everyone else plays like local league. So they are playing already. So why would they not be? They look amazing comparatively.
Yeah.
But then when they go to the NBA, everyone's at that level. So that's why they get lost a bit. But it's a different type of basketball. If you then, when you see the Americans, if they went over and played in Europe, that's what everyone's looking forward to in that. And you go, everyone, no disrespect to, America, but everyone wants to see them get kicked a little bit. Don't want to necessarily see them lose, but everyone wants to see them go, oh, European basketball, like they said they're world champions. Let's do a world versus Team USA. Like do that sort of thing.
World versus team. Yeah.
It just, USA would not win. World versus that just they wouldn't have a chance.
I don't know who said this to me the other day. They said, because obviously it's the Euros at the moment in England, they said England create amazing sports that they're then terrible at compared to the rest of the world. I was like, okay. And then they were like, well, they're never going to be the champions. And then they went, the Americans, they make sports that no one else wants to play, and then they call themselves world champions in their own domestic league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
However, what I would say when it comes to basketball, I think the Americans have to be really careful of the standard in the Euro League. Look, let's not forget who's current world champions. Germany.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Schroeder, who got choked out.
Don't forget that. You got a lot of old boys going to America. Sorry, coming from America to represent their country.
Oh, yeah, don't.
You got some old boys. It'll be great to see someone like LeBron and those guys and Steph Curry finish probably their last Olympics with a gold. That would be great to see.
Well, not probably. That is their last Olympics. There's no question. They're not playing another 4 years, are they?
No, but it's not going to be easy. I think the Americans walk into Olympics going, we're going to win this one. I'm not convinced you are. I'm really not convinced they're going to win this.
No, because they had that whole Redeem team, didn't they? Because when they went over to that Olympics thinking, oh yeah, we're going to cruise this, they got absolutely spanked.
Yeah,
and that's where the original Dream Team came from, because they were getting spanked all the time.
But you had I think it was 92 was the Dream Team, and then you had 96, which it was almost close to being like Shaq was on that one, and he was like, no, we were better than the original Dream Team. I mean, that's an argument for a show, but there's a great documentary. Oh, what's it on? I don't know. It might be called The Redeem Team, but it's all about Dwayne Wade, Bosh, LeBron, and they're all on that Redeem Team trying to win it. And I think they get a bronze.
Yeah.
I think they get a bronze in one thing. So it doesn't take them, I think it takes them like 6 years to do it. It's something like that. But I mean, I could be wrong. Watch the documentary.
It wasn't straight out the gate. It wasn't like, we'll put the super team together. It's like you said, they underestimate so often. You go, look in the NBA, the last 4 years, the MVP has not been an American. So when they're going up against these players,
well, other than this year,
well, that's what I mean. Up until now, they've all been from Europe, and they just almost forget it sometimes. It's the very, very concentrated. The NBA is only focused in that one, but it's branching out. It's getting media rights.
The question mark is Anthony Edwards. That's
so
for
good.
me. That is the shining light.
Just makes everything exciting.
If he plays like he was, in some of those games in the playoffs, boom, America might be getting that gold.
What did you say? He said to the old guys.
What was he quoted as saying? Something like,
I love it.
I don't know what I said.
That confidence, isn't it like the old guys who got to play around me or play my game
something like that. Yeah, they got to play around me. Like I'm playing, they got to play around me. This isn't like, anyone else's show. This is my show. It's kind of something like that.
I love that. I mean, again, when I said about Clay, there's different types of arrogance when you have assured of yourself. Jordan, that's why they always put parallels of him and Jordan, because he has that, oh no, I can hit that shot. It's a self-assuredness, and he's that confident. It's not, oh, I'm being cocky. It's like, well, no, he can deliver it. Give him the ball, he'll go deliver it. And he's so explosive. It's just great to watch him, especially with Minnesota as well, because Minnesota are just treading water for years.
Well, it's going to be exciting. My prediction is if Anthony Edwards shines, they're going to get the gold. If he doesn't shine,
he's the factor, yeah.
I think he's the factor. If they don't, if he doesn't shine, I think America might find it more difficult than they think it's going to be.
You're going to get people like
everyone's gunning for him as well.
Well, that's the
everyone's
thing.
gunning for him. Right.
But you are looking at in particular like Durant as well. We haven't mentioned him too much, but someone like him, he's arguably one of the hardest people to guard for shooting.
He's past his prime, I think. He's not a top 10 player anymore. I'd say the same thing for LeBron. He's like he's got to do the play-in. Steph Curry's going through the play-in. These aren't the players that people still think. We're still hanging on to these players from 10 years ago. Going, they're those players that they were 10 years. They're not. Klay Thompson, he was an amazing player. Yeah. He struggled in the playoffs.
Oh,
what was he? 0 for 7, 6? I don't know.
Everyone keeps spamming every sort of thing every now and again, don't they? Like, don't forget, Klay was 0 for 10 in the first quarter of the playoffs. And you're like, oh god, that stuff's going to haunt him.
But it's just like, I think us as fans, we're hanging on to players from how good they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And LeBron, look, he's got that massive longevity. He's got arguably the best physique of a player to last, 20 odd years in the league?
21 seasons, yeah.
And he's about to go again. He hasn't said about retiring. He's probably going to go a whole season, maybe another season. I don't know if he's waiting for kid number 2.
106, 2 million, 2-year contract, 106
He's
million.
waiting for number 2, is he?
No. Number 2 would be in 3 years.
Okay.
So he's bowing out.
But I don't know.
The only thing I'll say
we're watching that some of the EuroLeague going, I don't think you realise what you guys are coming into. You don't walk in there thinking we're going to war this. No,
exactly. And I will say about all of those old heads that we've just mentioned, I want to see them retire. I don't want to see them get injured and then have to just take I'm just going to limp off into the sunset kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to just go, you're done. They only say that because Vince Carter retired and it was the COVID bubble. That was his final thing. So he was going round that whole year. Each of the cities that he went to, they were all doing is a tribute to him and sort of, and he got that kind of taken away from him. So him retiring sort of ebbed away because they just didn't do it, which I think is a real shame. So yeah, some of these players, they are just will be in basketball history, and it just seems a shame that we can't just let them go and just let the new guys take over, especially as they're so interesting. Morant.
Well, here we go. I don't know why I pressed that one. That was me ending the subject.
That was ending the subject, was it? Okay. That's it. Subject over.
That's the NBA kind of done, isn't it?
NBA's done.
I will
Olympics
say
done.
to all our listeners that one of the reasons we haven't done this Basketball Weekly show is we've had a crap load of interviews. And
I just don't want to talk about the Mavs leaving.
The crap load of interviews. Like, we've got a backlog of interviews now that are coming out. We got some fantastic ones actually.
People have got to make the cut.
Is this show going out this week? So this one's coming out this week, and the one we're doing this second is coming out this week.
That's right.
Okay, so I don't know which one's going to come out first.
Hi, Pappy.
But in this week's interview, we've got Jeff Kobe.
Yes, sir.
What an absolute legend he is. Former New York Knick. Wrote a book called A Mindful Journey.
Yeah.
About all mindfulness and how that impacted his career.
What a dude.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy to talk to. But I went and bought his book. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to. I got the hardback copy as well.
Oh, nice.
So the only thing I didn't get was chance to get him to sign it, but it's a bit late now. Gone back to the US of A.
We'll have to get Jeff to send a signed thing we can stick in there.
Some Pritt stick or something.
A Pritt stick? Really?
It's still around.
Jeff deserves better than Pritt stick.
Okay.
Or blue tack.
But
yeah, look, we're interviewing people now, and it's where we're really fortunate that I won't say turning people away, but we're having to consider who we're interviewing. So if you as a listener can think of people that we should be interviewing, send in details and send stuff like that, because actually there is a lot of work that goes in behind all this, trying to set up dates, times and meetings and all that sort of stuff, and just understanding if they fit in something. It's a story that you want to tell, because some people have got really fascinating stories that you probably would never consider, and there's other people who you think, oh, they'd be amazing, and actually it's not really that exciting a story.
I think the as long as it's a good story.
Why are you stroking that?
It just feels really nice.
But
I don't know what you would call it.
You're stroking it like...
Yeah, but what would you call it? It's like the soundproofing stuff. It's like, it looks like knives coming towards you, but it feels quite nice if you run your hand like that.
Why are you stroking it? But you're doing it so delicately.
What do you call it though?
It's just a sound deadener thing, isn't it?
I'm in a soundproofed room with sharp foam things sticking towards me. It feels nice. Right.
Anyone listening thinks you're in some weird room.
I pressed the wrong button.
Oh my God, you're just all over the buttons, are you? But the one thing we'll finish up with saying.
I've got one thing. I'm going to call out one of my listeners, Mark. But
okay.
Yeah, go on.
The other thing we haven't touched on, and it's his Basketball Weekly, is there still has not been any developments in the British Basketball League.
We all know what's going to happen.
We all know it's going to be. There's going to be a league. There's going to be things.
There's going to be a league. There's going to be a league.
We're so confident in that, and everyone wants it. There's a whole appetite for it. There's a league. It's just, I think the one thing, if we can be critical and be fairly critical, is that the communication is not very good for fans and necessarily for clubs, because no one can really say.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way.
Tell everyone about that tweet.
There's tickets and adverts going out saying, buy your season ticket here. And then everyone's putting messages going, what season?
Yeah.
What league? And you go, how is a team meant to...
Tell everyone about that tweet.
Which one?
The one from Bird Box.
Oh,
so if you don't know, I think the film's called Bird Box, which has got Sandra Bullock. What? Did I just...
Who was that? Sandra's who? Wow.
Oh, dear.
Sandra Bullock, eh?
I mean, Sandra Bullock.
Wow.
I said Sandra Bullock. You heard it wrong.
Wow, it was basically a picture of her on the Bird Box with the little blindfold on, sat there in it. And, shout out to British basketball memes, because they put club owners when it comes to telling fans about what's happening next season, and it's just like
there's a picture of her rowing the boat, going, "Where are we going?
We're blind," and it's just, and
that was great.
You go, it does sum it up, because there's a lot of people flying by, and no one knows, and until it comes out, that's the reality. So we are trying not to be sensationalist and we don't want to be negative. So we're not reporting on stuff in that way because there's too many things that people just, unless you're the person in that room signing documents and papers, no one knows.
Yeah. Well, I've got an exclusive, Mark, for all our listeners now.
Oh, no.
Yeah. There is going to be a BBL next season. Yeah. And it's going to be the Talking Basketball Podcast Basketball League. Exclusive.
What?
It's getting late. I'm getting tired and there's buttons. No. Right. I don't normally get negative, but I'm going to be negative. This is the first time I've been negative.
You just absolutely obliterated poor Sandra's surname.
Look, it's not my fault.
Sandra Gonad.
She's got a name similar to words.
Similar to words.
Right. I'm going to call out one of our listeners for being an absolute wit.
Why?
I mean, I'm getting so off with everything that they're doing. I am not interested in your... Okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to read out... I'm going to name and shame this... Okay?
Right.
Adeline Thomas. Got a message from her.
Right.
Again. Mm-hmm. For the 18th time. Do you want me to read her message out? Paul, given that you are the sports announcer and music director at Portsmouth Basketball Club, I thought it'd make sense to reach out to you. Okay. Would video security cameras fall under your supervision? If you've got 10 minutes, I'm going to do a quick demo, and I'd love to show you the value of our AI-powered platform, and I'd appreciate your feedback. I don't think she exists, Mark.
You don't think she exists?
Nope.
That's your primary concern, is that you're worried about, is she a sentient being?
Yep.
How did you go from I deal with the music and commentating to security cameras? You're not looking at that link. You're just thinking, is she real?
Yeah. What an absolute wit.
Well, look, we get every single week at least 2 or 3 messages from people who say, are you doing and that? But most of the time, they're just saying, would your team like a kit? We're not a team. What are you talking about? And they just see the word basketball and then they just flood you with basketball.
Maybe we should have a team. The Talking Basketball Podcast Basketball Team.
I mean, you're not going to say that after a few drinks. So the TBTBPT.
Talking Basketball Podcast Basketball Team. 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 That's easy, mate.
Easy, mate. And yet you said Sandra Bollocks.
It's not my fault, it's her name.
Listen, you're going to see her one day in the street.
And
she'll be like, no, I won't, because she'll look at you and go,
I go, Sandra. Go in my pocket, go, here you go, I've got a laminated list here. Number 3.
Number 3. She's number 3. Wow, she'd be like, well, you were a number 3, unfortunately.
She'll go, hang on, well, funny enough, I've got a list in my pocket of absolute wits. You're not on it.
You're number 1.
You're not on it. Oh dear. Anyway, so yes, Adeline Thomas, I am not interested in security cameras, and I do not organise any security cameras at the Portsmouth Force games.
Please arrange any spam that you think Paul would like to go to ukbasketballpodcast@gmail.com.
With pictures?
Yeah. No. Why do you want the pictures?
Have our listeners sent you any artwork?
I haven't had any artwork actually yet. No, I'd like some artwork. So send me some artwork.
I've had a few. I've had a few.
Oh, no.
No, like, people send me, sculptures and say, this is art. And I'm like, yes, it is.
Oh.
Like, where, someone's fingers are actually holding, something. Not, no. What? Why are you making this weird?
How am I making it weird? You've just been stroking stuff.
No, I'm just saying, this is a hand.
I am grateful this is not on video.
Let's just say it was on a leg, yeah? The fingers would indent into the leg.
Okay.
And that is actually in rock. The actual sculpting or sculpture is got the indentations of the fingers in the leg. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's rock.
Yeah.
And then someone gets a banana and sellotapes it to a wall. That's what I'm saying. That's the difference in what a masterpiece is. Some young man who's a legend took his glasses off and put them on the floor by a wall, and people started taking pictures of it going, wow, that's a masterpiece. And he was like, yeah, that was actually pretty genius what I just did. Anyway, but thank you for your piece of artwork. They are lovely. That wasn't weird at all, was it?
No, that didn't take a left turn dramatically. It all started with Sandra and her bollock.
Right.
Well, thank you for listening. If you tuned in and you stayed with us, bless you. We've got loads coming up, as Paul said, and there'll be loads and loads of interviews. So stay tuned, and who knows what's going to happen next here. I've been Mark.
I have been Paul. And next time you go on a cruise, make sure you use their basketball court. Then you can add to your resume that you've played overseas. Basketball hack. Boom.
Really?
That'd work.
Might be on the badminton court.